Welcome to our video discussing the backwards model of instructional design presented by Youngstown State Online. Backwards design is a framework for designing educational curriculum or online courses. This process is a little bit different, where it focuses on the end of the course, really what we want our students to be able to know or perform after they take our course. This model focuses heavily on our learning outcomes as well as our assessments to ensure everything aligns with each other. Now, there's a lot of benefits to using this model. It's going to promote clarity and focus on the course planning. It's going to ensure that our objectives, our assessments, our content and instruction all work together to meet that end goal, which will help encourage deeper understanding and meaningful learning for our students. But where do we begin? Well, the first thing we're going to want to think about is, what do we want our students to know or be able to do after taking our course? And this could be a simple brainstorming session where we get some ideas out. Once we have those ideas flushed out, now we'll want to establish and write those clear learning objectives. And as we're writing those learning objectives, we're going to want to consider the different levels of Bloom's taxonomy and work up that pyramid as we move on through the course. Now, these learning objectives will begin with course level objectives and then be refined down to module level objectives or weekly objectives, depending on how you use your course. Now that we have our learning outcomes or our learning goals created, we've established what the students are going to know and be able to do by the end of the course. Now we're going to want to think about, well, how are we going to measure this and ensure that they actually do know that or can perform these tasks? So at this point in the process, we'll begin planning our assessments. And here is where we're going to want to carefully make sure that we're aligning our assessments to the proper level of our learning objectives. Also important at this phase in the process that we use and we develop a variety of assessments. For example, you may have a student that has high test anxiety, and maybe tests aren't the best way to assess that student learning. Some other options could be projects, presentations, group work, discussion boards. These are the things that we're going to want to plan. And again, these are the things that are going to measure our actual learning objectives. Well, the last step in the process, now that we have our learning objectives, we know how we're going to measure those learning objectives. Now we're going to want to design our content. We're going to want to ensure that our instruction, our materials, our PowerPoints, videos, all align with our assessments and our objectives. This will help filter out any unneeded content. Just like we talked about the importance of having different types of learning assessments, we also want to have different types of teaching strategies. And this could be done through videos, PowerPoints, readings. Well, beginning anything new can have its challenges. This could require a lot of time and effort to plan this out and map everything effectively. We're going to want to look at how we can make some adjustments to our existing teaching practices and really think of this process as a loop where it's going to be continuous reflection, refinement, updates to courses. We're going to find some things work well, and we may find other things don't work as well as we hoped. And those are the areas that we're going to want to make those improvements on. So where do we go from here? Now that we know a little bit about what the backwards model of design is, here we could pick one course and just consider how this model may work with your course content, your course objectives, your course assessments. Once we think that through, we have an idea maybe where we want to go, feel free to always reach out to our Instructional Design and Development Center with questions. We can always meet with you and help you incorporate this model into your course planning or your course redesign. If you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to email, call, or just stop into our office at any time. Thanks so much for taking the time to review today's video.